space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its mission, to explore strange new worlds, to discover new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Captain's log, stardate 6236.5. Following our mission to Balkos, the Enterprise is proceeding to Omega Corvus to probe radiation clouds. We are expecting an uneventful mission.
Message from Starfleet Command.
On screen.
This is a Code 2 emergency, Captain. 3 Federation ships have vanished in the Delphi system within the last month. 3 days ago, we lost contact with the USS Zimbabwe. You are to go to the Delphi system and find out what's happened to our ships. Starfleet out.
Hello, welcome back to Star Trek Judgement Rites. So it's been a little while since I've had the opportunity to play this. Real life gets in the way. And it seems there's been some changes since the last time I played. I don't know if these are related to the changes Windows made to display scaling, or if GOG updated the DOSBox launcher, but now it fills my screen by default. It keeps its aspect ratio, so I'm not going to bother changing it too much, but hopefully that doesn't... I don't know what the effect on video quality will be from scaling it like this versus scaling it in the renderer, but... oh well. In that case, we have a new adventure. Kirk said the dreaded words. This will be an uneventful mission, so of course now it's going to be very eventful.
The Delphi system is not far from Romulan space.
Let's not make any accusations without proof, Mr. Spock.
I make no accusations, Captain. I am simply pointing out relevant information based on the most logical hypothesis available. I would not recommend drawing a definite conclusion from it.
Okay, so as always, it's time to access Mr. Spock's computer, so let's start with the USS Zimbabwe.
USS Zimbabwe. Constitution-class starship commissioned stardate 5621.3, currently under the command of Captain Ulysses Monteya. The Zimbabwe's current non-classified missions include ferrying diplomats between Babel and Vulcan and searching for missing ships in the Delphi sector.
Ulysses Monteya. Babel, Vulcan, Delphi sector. Okay. Nice.
Delphi system. A ternary star system first charted 30 years ago by the USS Essex. With no habitable planets in the system, the Gamma Delphi sector is known for a high abundance of ion storms.
Gamma Delphi ion storms. Okay, nothing more on Gamma Delphi.
Ion storm. Interstellar phenomenon characterized by powerful ion emissions, often drained from charged particle bursts in nebulas that are pulled from the nebula by black holes. Ion storms can cover many cubic light years and are powerful enough to disrupt the systems on a Constitution-class starship.
That sounds like something we'd rather avoid. Actually, it's probably going to do...
Ulysses Monteya, Starfleet rank Captain. Current assignment, command of the USS Zimbabwe. Graduated 5th in his academy class, Captain Monteya served as ensign and later lieutenant aboard the USS Jersey, as lieutenant commander aboard the USS Senyurix, and as first officer and later commander of the USS Regulus. Captain Monteya has been decorated 9 times by Starfleet for various feats of bravery and valor.
Sounds like a very commendable officer. Nothing on the Jersey, the Cynrix, or the Regulus. Okay. Let's listen to Babel then. Really? That's interesting.
Vulcans, one of the most prominent members of the Federation, a society devoted to logic and pacifism. The concept of the Idic is only one of their contributions to galactic philosophy. Prominent Vulcans include Sarek, Surak, and T'Pau. Cross-reference entries: Sarek, Surak, and T'Pau.
Okay.
USS Zimbabwe. Constitution-class starship commissioned Delphi system. A ternary star system first charted. Omega Corvus, a Federation system located near the galactic barrier. The Omega Corvus system contains a small colony of several hundred scientists who studied the galactic barrier and some of its more mysterious phenomena.
That doesn't seem relevant, but okay. I think we've done all the research we can. There's not much to do here, so we will proceed to go to the Delphi sector. Alright, so let's head in.
Captain, at our current speed of warp 7, I expect to enter the Delphi system in 8 minutes.
Captain, I just started getting the oddest noise on all channels. It sounds like some sort of insect drone.
Let's hear it, Lieutenant.
An object is approaching the Enterprise.
On screen. Mr. Spock, is that what I think it is?
Sensors indicate that it is an authentic Earth warplane, circa 1917, belonging to the nation of Germany. Its appearance is identical to a Fokker DR-1. Sensors also indicate an immense power source and one life form.
We are being hailed.
This is Baron Trelane von Gothus of the German Air Circus. I have identified you as an enemy aircraft. You have 10 seconds to surrender before I blow you out of the sky.
Trelane, but I thought we'd seen the last of you. Stop playing games, Trelane. Leave my ship alone. We surrender. Trelane, triplanes didn't have radios during the First World War.
Captain Kirk, that is not the way for mortal enemies to greet each other on the field of battle. Of course you hadn't seen the last of me. I am Trelane, the humble Baron of Gothus.
Humility is not something that I would associate with you, Trelane. I suppose we're going to get another tantrum from a runaway child with too much power for his own good. Mortal enemies? When are you going to grow up, Trelane?
Not for several millennia, I'm afraid. Of course, the Baron von Gothus does not have to aspire to such lofty heights to defeat his latest victim.
You were responsible for what happened to the Zimbabwe? We'll see who the victim will be, Trelane. No matter how powerful you are, your arrogance and your immaturity will always be your downfall. Why don't you aspire to lofty heights and leave us alone? You were responsible for what happened to the Zimbabwe?
Was that one of the valiant pilots who is now confined in my dungeon? Perhaps you wish to join him.
Sensors indicate he is closing on us. I would extrapolate that he intends to fire on us.
Raise shields, evasive maneuvers.
Raising shields.
Alright, full speed. Arm weapons. Mr. Spock. Really? In case, let's, Germany. German Air.
Trelane, also known as the Squire of Gothas, an entity posing as a self-styled retired human general of 19th century Earth, in actuality, a naughty child of an extremely powerful alien race. His attempt to commandeer the USS Enterprise was foiled by Captain James Kirk and by the intervention of Trelane's parents, who took him away, presumably to another dimension, for punishment.
Well, that didn't last.
Alien frequencies open.
Oh my god. He gets rapid-fire torpedo cannons.
Our weapons are locked.
Scotty, repair those warp engines.
Aye, sir. Engines repaired, Captain. Aye, sir.
Focus down on those shields then. Damn it.
Target analysis off. Target analysis off.
We gave him a bit of a whopping, but it's going to take a lot more than that. Coming around for a pass. Or not. Now he's coming around, I think. Come on.
Target analysis off. Target analysis off.
We can just get past his shields. Alright, we got some hull damage on him. Alright, it looks like he's trying to come around for another pass.
Shields repaired, Captain.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. If I ever said you're a miracle worker, is he freaking out? Alright, his shields are suffering here quite a bit. Come on. Looks like he's coming around for a pass. Target lock fire, Mr. Chekhov. I don't know if he's capable of repairing his damage, but if he is, I don't want to give him the opportunity. Alright, good hits, good hits. Unload into him, Mr. Chekhov.
Don't celebrate too soon, Mr. Chekhov. Trelane is like a bad penny. He keeps turning up where he's not wanted.
The triplane has reformed.
It is hailing us again, sir.
Kirk, you cheated! You cheated!
I beat you fair and square, Trelane. Now leave my ship alone. Don't be such a poor loser, Trelane. Your quarrel is with me, Trelane, not my ship. If you're going to punish anyone, punish me. I beat you fair and square, Trelane. Now leave my ship alone.
No, Kirk, you cheated! And you're going to have to be punished. Your insolent ship will have to be punished as well. But only you will bear the full brunt of my revenge.
Leave my ship out of this, Trelane.
Are you trying to give orders to the Baron of Gothas, Kirk? You should go to my dungeon for that. You and a few others of my choosing.
Wonderful.
We have been unconscious for a considerable length of time, Captain. This is Lieutenant Commander Ellis, First Officer and Security Chief of the USS Zimbabwe.
Hello, Mr. Ellis. Where is your captain?
He was in sickbay at the time that triplane attacked us. I don't know what's going on.
What is going on, Commander, is a gentleman named Trelane, an immature child of a race with vast powers. Somehow he acquired an unhealthy fascination with human military history. Last time we encountered him, he had an interest in the Napoleonic era.
It would appear, Captain, that his awareness of human history has advanced to the level of your First World War.
If it advances any further.
Not only do we need to escape this place, but we need to find a way to discourage Trelane's interest in war once and for all.
How did you escape from him last time, Captain?
His parents appeared and punished him. I doubt that we can rely on such an intervention a second time.
Alright, so it seems that despite beating Trelane, we still ended up in his dungeon, which you can actually lose to him, and all it does is it teleports you here without all that extra dialogue. And without the satisfaction of beating Trelane at his own game.
The walls of this room look very sturdy. The only door in this room, it is locked. There are many bundles of sticks piled against the wall. Straw, not the sort of bedding that Starfleet officers are used to. Rather damp, too. A small barrel rests against the wall. It is empty.
Wow, the one time they actually let us look at everything.
A light bulb, triggered by a chain, is suspended above the center of the room. The chain is broken. The walls of this... A crate. It is labeled Schnapps. It is unopened.
Schnapps.
A crate.
Okay, I do want to put in my captain's log here, I'm going to put in that once we're done with this mission, I would like special commendations for Lieutenant Sulu, Lieutenant Commander Scott, and Lieutenant Chekhov, or Ensign Chekhov. I don't know if he's a lieutenant by this point. But Lieutenant Sulu for his excellent work in evading Trelane's attacks, as well as staying on his tail, allowing us to attack. Lieutenant Chekhov for his excellent marksmanship skills, and Lieutenant Commander Scott for his excellent work in keeping our shields up and our systems repaired despite under Trelane's attack. So, alright, let's finish looking around.
Mr. Spock finds this situation fascinating. James T. Kirk, who wonders how he's going to defeat Trelane this time. Lieutenant Commander Ellis is frowning. This sort of stuff always seems to happen to the Enterprise. Dr. Leonard McCoy, who wonders what is really going on.
Thoughts, everyone?
Fascinating. This appears to be an Earth domicile, late 19th or early 20th century.
At least nobody's sick.
Anyone have any ideas about how to get out of here?
Okay, take us out of here. Okay, take us out of here.
Alright, first let's make sure he's all well and good.
Lieutenant Commander Ellis is showing heightened levels of stress.
Make sure everyone else is alright.
Mr. Spock, I can never tell what's right and what's wrong with these Vulcans. James T. Kirk. Slightly heightened levels of adrenaline, but otherwise normal. The phrase, physician, heal thyself, has always annoyed me.
Alright, Mr. Spock, tricorder readings.
There is nothing unusual about the door. I am conducting a sensor sweep of the area. We appear to be about 15 meters underground. There's a single human life force stationary, approximately 6 meters from the door, and about 6 life forms in our immediate vicinity on the surface. The tricorder detects nothing unusual. These sticks were taken from a pine tree. Given their shape, I would speculate that they are used for kindling. A wooden barrel containing nothing. The tricorder detects no unusual properties. Ordinary straw, Captain. The tricorder detects no unusual properties.
Sounds like there's a guard dog outside or something.
It would appear to be an ordinary crate, Captain.
Of course it's a crate. It looks like a crate, feels like a crate. What else could it be?
Doctor, we are dealing with an entity who is capable of sustaining an artificial atmosphere on a planet and then flying that planet around the universe like a starship.
Spock's right, Bones. When we're dealing with Trelane, we need all the information that we can get. Something that looks trivial might be the key to defeating him and saving the Enterprise.
And the Zimbabwe.
Wonder if that's a hint for later.
It would appear to be an ordinary crate, Captain. This light bulb is an anachronism. Although its light output is typical of period lighting sources, it is far more energy efficient and encased in shatterproof glass.
Trelane was never very good at getting the fine details right.
A correct observation, Doctor.
Okay, so I think we can pick up some of this
You
stuff.
pick up a stick. The crate is too heavy to take with you.
And we open the crate and get some of the delicious, delicious schnapps.
The crate is open. It is full of bottles of Himrich schnapps. The date on the bottle says 1913.
I gotta say, I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, so I'm partial to save your schnapps. Alright, now we
No effect.
Damn it. There we go.
You have taken several bottles of schnapps.
No thanks. We'll need all of our wits if we are to defeat Trelane.
While I'm on duty? Are you serious?
Not as good as Steel Magnolia. Perhaps later. You carry it, Jim.
Vulcans do not drink.
He needs to loosen his Vulcan ears a little.
I have observed numerous occasions, Doctor, where you have regretted your indulgence in alcoholic beverages.
Alright, so, can we, knock on the...
The chain is broken. It is obvious that you cannot turn it off.
Okay. Knock, knock.
I can't seem to force this door open. This lock is tougher than I'd expect for this time period.
Fascinating.
Mr. Spock? Maybe you
The
can...
door is securely locked, Captain. I am unable to open it.
Does anyone have a safety pin?
A what? I don't think so.
That's weird, it said, Kirk was saying that, but Ellis was actually saying that.
Keep it down, Schweinhund. Keep it down, Schweinhund. Keep it down, Schweinhund. Keep it down, Schweinhund.
Seeing if I can bait him into coming in here.
Keep it down,
I guess not. Okay. Alright, well, I think...
Captain, I believe we need all the light we can get. It is not an advisable course of action.
Alright.
Well, I thought I could start a fire and try to get someone's attention, but I guess the straw is too damp.
Okay, well, let's,
You cover the straw with schnapps.
Now let's try that again.
What's going on here?
We should leave this building immediately. The proximity of this fire to a large concentration of alcohol puts us at considerable risk.
Do you think the Baron cares if you burn to death?
Who is this Baron? Trelane? Don't be a fool, man. If you keep us in here, you'll die too. It depends on whether he likes his prisoners rare, medium, or well done. Who is this Baron? Don't be a fool, man. If you keep us in here, you'll die too.
You have a point, Kirk. Go. I will be following.
Our soldier friend seems to have gotten separated from us. I heard some windows breaking on the other side of the building. I assume that was him.
The building is structurally sound, Captain. I doubt that it would collapse, but as a precaution, I would not enter it again.
Well, where are we, Mr. Spock?
Isn't it obvious? In trouble.
Do you have a problem, Mr. Ellis?
Yes, sir, I have a problem. His name was...
The Baron does not appreciate vagrants.
Why that?
And I don't appreciate the Baron's soldier.
Having fun, Jim?
Yes.
No effect.
McCoy, tricorder readings.
He's not going to be bothering anyone for a while.
What about this vagrant?
A human, approximately 60 years of age, in poor physical condition. His hip is broken, Jim. He needs our help.
McCoy, see what you can do.
I don't see any medical emergency, Jim.
What? Okay. I guess it thought I was clicking on the cobblestone.
That should fix the hip problem. You should rest. Thank goodness Trelane didn't take the tranquilizers from my medkit. He'd probably be too tired to talk much.
Thank you for helping me. If only I had something to repay you.
You could tell us where we are.
You are the American pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk, the leader of the famous Enterprise Squadron.
Lieutenant Colonel?
Jimmy?
Enterprise Squadron?
I suppose I should tell you nothing, but as it looks as though the war will soon be over, I can tell you that this is the village of Gothos.
What war is this?
The Great War. The one that has lasted for 4 damned years and has killed millions. I never thought that it was possible for so many young people to die for such a worthless cause.
I believe he refers to the first of your world wars.
Could you answer an important question for me, sir? What year is this? Where's Trelane? What else has happened? What year is this?
Let's see.
Where's Trelane? What else has happened?
It is rumored that our forces are mutinying, and that our ambassadors have met with Mr. Wilson to discuss an armistice, but that Mr. Wilson will not negotiate with anyone except an elected government. Baron Trelane has retired to his castle and sees no one. His men are nothing more than bullies. I am so tired. I must rest.
Okay, so at least we basically got the where is Trelane. We know he's in his castle now.
This metal grate leads to the sewers of Gothos. Uneven cobblestones pave this European street. The old man stares at McCoy in wonder and gratitude. The bullying soldier might be surprised to have met his match if he were still conscious. James T. Kirk, who feels a little ragged right now. Dr. McCoy, pondering the unusual nature of this situation. A burnt-out hovel. This is where Trelane placed you after you were taken from the Enterprise. Lieutenant Commander Ellis glares at Kirk.
Looks like we might be having a problem here.
A burnt-out hovel. This is where Trelane placed you after you were taken. A quaint village shop, typical of early 20th century Earth. A building. It was once a bakery. A quaint little pub, reminiscent of 19th century German pubs.
Not a bad place to visit, but I can't say I like some of the natives.
I didn't join Starfleet to play at being a galactic tourist.
This strikes me as something of a Potemkin village, Captain. It lacks the scope to be truly real.
A creation of Trelane's, no doubt. One of his imitations of reality.
Undoubtedly, Captain, there is a high probability that it will be an extremely deadly place.
Wonderful.
All right, Commander, you were about to tell us why you're being so hostile. Let's hear your story.
Does the name Lieutenant Ralph Garvin sound familiar to you? He was my roommate at the academy and was killed by some blood-sucking cloud while on a landing party under your command.
Space is not the safest of environments. I've always done my best to protect my crew, and I've always honored anyone who has lost their life under my command.
The Enterprise is routinely assigned to unknown and extremely dangerous sectors.
I have always made it a policy to lead landing parties and share the risk with my men. I suppose you've never lost someone under your command, Commander. You've never felt the loss of a subordinate while you've been on a landing party. When you become a captain of a starship, you'll have every right to judgment. We're in the middle of a life and death situation. I expect you to act like a Starfleet officer. I have always made it a policy to lead landing parties and share the risk with my men.
I think that sounds like the most Kirk option.
Captain, if I see you do anything that puts us or our escape at risk, you'll regret it.
I'm not interested in vendettas. I'm interested in survival. If you have a problem with me, you can wait until everyone's safe. Is that clear, Commander?
Yes, sir.
This seems pointless.
Really, we're not
This
going
seems
to look
pointless.
at the lady over there?
You know the Baron's orders are that you are to be served in the armory. You are not to enter this establishment.
Everyone knows, Fraulein, that the Baron's orders were never meant to be taken seriously. Even by him.
Looks like trouble.
Excuse me, but if the lady wants you out, then you should get out. Would you like to step outside? Hello, soldier. Wouldn't you look good with beer on your face? Excuse me, but if the lady wants you out, then you should get out. Would you like to step outside? They don't make soldiers like they used to. Well, Miss Gernsbeck, you seem to run a very efficient place.
Thank you, Colonel. Unfortunately, the war does not lend itself to efficiency. What do you wish to talk about?
Why are you calling me a colonel? What's going on with the war? You said that the war led to a lack of efficiency. What are you talking about? What do you know about Trelane? Why do these soldiers bother you? Why are you calling me a colonel?
I know who you are. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk, leader of the famed United States Enterprise Squadron that has shot down so many of our pilots, along with Major Spock and Captain Leo McCoy.
Captain McCoy? Leo?
Excuse me, Gretel, could you answer a question or two for me?
I will try, Colonel.
What's going on with the war?
It has not been going well of late, though we are told that Kaiser Wilhelm will never surrender. I doubt the war will last more than 2 months.
What is the date?
You have been held prisoner for a long time. It is October 16th, 1918. I'm glad it's coming to an end. I've lost so many friends. I've never felt so alone.
You said that the war led to a lack of efficiency. What are you talking about?
The soldiers are little more than animals. They do as they please because a Baron protects them. I must deliver kegs of beer for them every night. It keeps them from having to leave the armory.
Interesting.
I'm glad it's coming to an end. I've lost so many friends. I've never felt so alone.
What do you know about Trelane?
I know the Baron despises you and has vowed to kill you if you should ever meet again. Take my advice. Flee Garthos and never return.
And how does one flee Garthos?
I do not know. Else I would have left long ago. The village of Garthos seems to ensnare anyone who comes here. You see, I really work for the French government. I'm a spy. I'm glad it's coming to an end. I've lost so many friends. I've never felt so alone.
Spy?
I have been here for 2 years. The Western Front is very close. and I sent information to France.
Well, she's in the perfect position.
I'm glad it's coming to an end. I've lost so many friends. I've never felt so alone.
Why do these soldiers bother you? Alone, Fräulein? Why do these soldiers bother you?
The soldiers are little more than animals. They do as they please because a band protects them. I must deliver kegs of beer for them every night. It keeps them from having to leave the armory. I'm glad it's coming.
Alone?
Perhaps someday, when you have defeated your enemy and this war is finally over, you would come and visit me. I would enjoy spending better times with you.
Perhaps, Fräulein.
Wow, okay. Okay, Kirk, settle down, boy.
This photograph of an ugly human female is labeled Trelane's mother. This photograph of an ugly human male is labeled Trelane's father. This seems pointless. A chandelier. These Prussian cavalry sabers are really imitations. A severed animal head. The inscription reads, African musk ox, caught by the noble Baron Trelane von Gothos, April 13th, 1913, while on safari in darkest Africa.
African musk ox? Darkest Africa?
Misnomers, Doctor. This head is not a true representative of any African species of cattle.
A severed animal
want
head.
that date again.
The inscription reads, African musk ox,
13th,
caught by the noble Baron
1913.
Trelane von Gothos, April 13th, 1913, while on safari in darkest Africa.
African musk ox?
What's this? This looks...
This seems
Okay, we
pointless.
can't look at that, but that almost looks like a fur skin of some sort.
A large and rather ugly painting of a townscape. This door leads to a back room. A collection of steins. Kegs of beer. They are marked for delivery to the armory. Kegs of beer. A large wooden table. A patron of this establishment. A patron of this...
Okay, so I guess the cup is considered part of the patron.
A patron of this establishment. A beer mug. A beer mug. The bar. This is where the drinks are ordered. The bar. Gretel Gernsbeck, the hostess of this establishment.
Alright, McCoy, make sure everyone's fine.
Not the epitome of perfect human health. Not the epitome of perfect human health. Human being in good physical condition.
Alright, Mr. Spock, tricorder readings of everything.
An ordinary chandelier, or Trelane's facsimile of one. The sabers are really made from tin, Captain. They are decorative, not functional.
No use taking those.
A replicated animal head. It is not an authentic species. The tricorder detects no unusual properties.
Except for its unusual ugliness, Spock.
My father painted that.
It's a very nice painting.
Come to think about it, it's very, interesting.
My tricorder indicates 3 people in the immediate vicinity. The tricorder indicates that these are ordinary beer kegs. Nothing unusual about these steins. The tricorder detects no unusual properties. Nothing unusual about the mug.
About the other mug.
Nothing unusual about the mug. The tricorder detects no unusual properties. The tricorder detects nothing unusual. The tricorder detects nothing unusual.
Alright, so we've done our due diligence, I think, in scanning around, so let's try talking to more people.
Rudolph
Ulan, owner of the shop outside. What seems to be the problem?
What do you think about the war, Harold? What can you tell me about Trelane? What do you think about the war, Harold?
Schiller would have us believe that Germany is doomed. But I have more faith in our great soldiers than that. Victory shall be ours. Kirk, what is it this time?
What can you tell me about Trelane?
The perfect German. If anyone can turn this war around, it's him.
You're such a sycophant, Rudolph. I saw how you handled that foolish brute outside. Quite impressive. I am Schiller, superintendent of the local schools. How may I help you?
What do you think of the war?
Horrible business. When it started, I thought it would be good for Germany, but it soon became a mess. I hope it will be over soon. If we can settle this thing without harsh negotiations, we can get back to being a civilized nation once again. Herr Kirk, though my position as school superintendent keeps me busy, I'm always glad to help you.
What can you tell me about Trelane?
A flamboyant man, and the greatest pilot in Germany. If only his soldiers weren't such rabble. Herr Kirk,
where can I go to earn some money? What's special about the school? Where can I go to earn some money?
One might find a little money doing odd jobs around the village.
Okay.
Herr Kirk.
What's special about the school?
Well, Captain Hauptmann is addressing our class, trying to make the children into proper Germans. And we have a brand new chalkboard.
Alright, I think we've milked these guys for as much information as we can. Let's use McCoy's,
These aren't organic, Jim. My medical tricorder identifies the substance contained in the keg to be a fermented cereal produced by a malting process.
In other words, beer.
How come Spock gets to ramble on forever with his explanations without interruptions, and I don't?
McCoy, can we actually use you to, like, poison it with tranquilizers?
McCoy has drugged the beer.
Yes! Okay, now I think we can leave. Oh, that's not the... Oh hey, it's gone.
If I didn't know your good luck was only temporary, I'd be quite annoyed.
Mr. Full House is complaining. If his hands were any more indecent, he would be arrested.
With the Baron's soldiers, he might be arrested even if his hands were decent. I can't complete a strike to save my life.
Or your fortune.
This seems pointless. This landscape does not look like the work of a professional. Cups, dishes, and other supplies are stored on these shelves.
This almost looks like a computer panel of some sort.
There is a date circled on this calendar, October 16, 1918.
Or it could be a calendar, I guess.
A light suspended from the ceiling. A German card shark. A German card shark. A German card shark. Cups, dishes, and other supplies are stored on these shelves. These crates contain potatoes. This barrel is full of beer. Looking through a ragged knothole, it is obvious that this cupboard is empty.
Alright, Mr. Spock, tricorder readings.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual.
Okay.
The tricorder.
Okay.
An ordinary light bulb with a carbon filament. There are anomalies, however. The efficiency and consistency of the light source is not appropriate to the period. The glass is also shatterproof.
Another inaccurate history lesson from Professor Trelane.
The tricorder detects nothing.
Okay.
A wood-burning stove. This appears to be several decades old, and is chiefly composed of cast iron. A wooden crate containing potatoes. There's nothing unusual about it. The barrel contains beer. The tricorder detects nothing unusual. The tricorder...
Okay, I don't know if we looked at the stove before.
A wood-burning stove, which heats this cellar on cold October nights.
Okay. So...
Lieutenant Commander Ellis. He prefers athletics to parlor games. Mr. Spock. He prefers chess to poker. Dr. McCoy wishes he had a better poker face. James T. Kirk. He prefers poker to chess.
All right, McCoy, medical readings on these gentlemen.
Human male in fair physical condition. Less beer and tobacco would make considerable improvements. Human male in fair physical condition. Less beer and tobacco would make considerable improvements. Human male in fair physical condition. Less beer and tobacco would make considerable improvements.
I've been known to play a mean hand of poker on occasion. I imagine you do too, Kirk, except people seem to keep calling your bluff.
Poker. How unusual to find this activity in Germany during this period. Fascinating.
Fascinating? Just because your ears grow when you bluff? Poker. I remember this time in medical school where I got into this game.
Doctor, I see no relevance of your story to this situation.
Spock, did anyone ever tell you that you can be damn rude?
Poker.
Welcome. I am Kurt Nielsen, owner of the Gossos Brewery. If you care to join, feel free, if you can pay the stake.
Hello, I am Richard Sondergaard. I publish the local newspaper. It's nice to see someone as famous as you, Lieutenant Colonel.
Doesn't it worry you, Herr Sondergaard, that you know an enemy ace is standing next to you?
The Baron has given orders for everyone in Gothos to treat you well, Herr Kirk. A fellow pilot honoring fellow pilots, I suppose, although I would not trust the military to follow those orders to the letter.
We've certainly seen that happen.
I'm Werner Gillard, the shoemaker. If you are not prepared to play, please leave us.
Excuse our friend. He doesn't like to perform in front of an audience. Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
What can you tell me about the war?
My son is in the army. I fear for him constantly. I've tried to convince the commander at the armory to authorize his transfer. I would do nearly anything for that transfer. Welcome, friends.
What can you tell me about Trelane?
My Herr Kirk, you know the Baron quite well, do you not? I doubt I could tell you anything you do not know. Welcome, friend.
What can you help me get into this poker game?
I would lend you a stake to enter this game, but it appears that I will have to win a few hands to give you that money.
Okay. So, it looks like we gotta find the money on our own. And one of these people said that there were odd jobs around, so let's try the shop next. And then I think this was supposed to be a bakery.
Charming place. Less technology, more humanity. I like it.
Somewhere in the middle of this European charm is Trelane and the missing ships. Let's find it.
Bottles and cans line the back wall, as well as flowers in a vase. Pans, dishes, and lamps line this wall. Sacks of flour and household cleaning implements line this wall. A rather badly painted seascape. An empty kettle rests upon this stove. A tattered rope sits here. A broom, good for sweeping things. Sacks of flour and household cleaning implements line this wall. Jars of fruit are preserved in this translucent container. A barrel of pickles. A barrel of apples. This clock looks like it is broken. You wonder who would want a broken clock. This clock looks expensive. A sturdy wooden table. Pans, dishes, and lamps line this wall. Metal buckets in a rough pile on the floor. A small stepladder to help the shopkeeper reach the upper shelves. This shop is not experiencing a shortage of shoes.
Well, that's good to know.
A cash register, confections, a package of meat in a white wrapper, and a cash register are on this counter. Candy canes in a jar. Jelly beans in a glass jar. A package of food containing mutton. Bottles and cans line the back wall. This boy looks like he's anxious to make a sale.
Thoughts, everyone?
Captain, these items are not typical of what would be available in a German shop in the 20th century. I would theorize that Trelane has set this up for a reason.
Could he be testing us? I've read many reports of superior intelligences testing human beings.
Trelane does not qualify as superior intelligence, Mr. Ellis. He's not testing us. He's playing with us. And I'm rather tired of his games.
I guess we're getting shore leave a little early. Sort of.
This looks safe. I don't think anyone is going to die here. Do you agree, Captain?
One never knows, Mr. Ellis. Don't push your luck, Mr. Ellis.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Foot and mouth disease can strike anyone, anywhere, and it can be fatal. One never knows, Mr. Ellis. Don't push your luck, Mr. Ellis. I don't know. One never knows, Mr. Ellis.
Yes, sir.
I think that's about the Kirkiest thing we could do there.
Here we are in the early 20th century, living in history. It's a shame that this is only a cheap sham by Trelane. I could get to like this place.
Alright, tricorder readings, Mr. Spock.
The tricorder detects nothing. The tricorder. The tricorder. The tricorder.
A lot of nothing unusual in here.
The tricorder. There's nothing. The tricorder. This object is composed of metal and wood. There is nothing unusual about it. A curious substance, Captain. I have never understood the human need for sweet confections.
With Vulcan taste buds, it's no wonder.
Actually, Doctor, the need for sweets is more psychological than physical. A curious substance, Captain. I have never actually.
Okay, so they just repeat it with the jelly bean.
The tricorder detect.
Nothing unusual. What about that roller or whatever?
The tricorder.
Okay.
A common stove, although perhaps a bit antiquated for the period. There are no unusual readings from it, Captain. The tricorder. The tricorder. The tricorder.
It's a pity I can't, like, queue these up and have everyone do
the tricorder
their thing at the same time. Like, have McCoy scan him while I have Spock scanning the room. While Kirk talks to the shopkeeper.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual. The tricorder. Pickles, Captain. I detect nothing unusual about them. Apples, Captain. I detect nothing unusual about them. Captain, I'm detecting an extraordinary power source just to the left of that item. I am unable to get a reading due to the interference. The power contained within one of the clocks is off the scale, Captain. It matches with the sensor readings I took of Trelane's triplane on the Enterprise.
Theories, Mr. Spock.
Captain, the last time we encountered Trelane, he used various items, in particular, a machine hidden behind a mirror as a source for his power. This clock is another one of Trelane's power objects.
And if we could find and destroy enough of Trelane's power,
the village of Gothos would come apart, and we might find out what happened to the Enterprise.
Mr. Spock, continue scanning for power sources.
Interesting.
Captain, I am unable to filter out the power readings that I am getting from the clock. I cannot effectively scan the surrounding objects.
A sturdy wooden table.
Alright, McCoy, your turn to start scanning everything.
A young human male in good physical condition.
And there's some organic stuff here.
We're supposed to use this on people. The tricorder says there's nothing wrong with these pickles, Jim. If I was pregnant, I might even want one.
Huh?
A joke that great-grandmother McCoy told me once.
It must have been funny once, I guess.
The tricorder says they're delicious, Jim.
Can we get a reading on the jelly beans?
Well, the tricorder doesn't tell me much, but those jelly beans look good to me.
Did we maybe not get the candy cane?
We're supposed to.
Nope, he doesn't want to scan the candy cane.
I believe it's mutton. Its bacterial count is rather high, but it should be safe to eat if it's properly cooked.
Alright, now we can finally talk.
Hi, can I help you?
What do you want for that broom? I see you're selling food packages. Is that a coil of rope over on the wall? What do you want for those shoes? That really is a beautiful clock. Can you tell me how to make money around here? What do you want for that broom?
That old thing. I can give it to you now. You can pay me later. I'm sure my boss, Mr. Uland, won't mind.
Ah, okay.
Hi, can I help you?
I see you're selling food packages.
You look hungry. Sure, have it. Pay me later. Hi, can I help you?
Is that a coil of rope over on the wall? What do you want for those Is that a
That rope? No one ever buys rope. Go ahead and take it. Hi, can I help
giving
you?
away the shop for those shoes? One by one.
I'm sorry, but those shoes have already been paid for.
Okay, so we're not
Hi,
getting the shoes.
Can I help you?
What do you want for those? That really is a beautiful clock.
It sure is. I can let you have it. Pay me later. Or maybe not. Mr. Uland wouldn't like me to give away something that expensive on a promise. Hi, can I help you?
What? That really is. Can you tell me how to make money around here?
Sure, have some money. Oh, I don't have any. I wonder why. Hi, can I help?
What do you want? What do you want? That really is a beautiful. What do you want for those? That really is.
It sure is.
Yes, I wonder why. Alright, that seems to be all we can do here for the time being. I was hoping he'd have a job for us, but I guess not. Can we... I guess we can't go in that building, so... Oh, let's explore around the town a bit more. Hey, it looks like a fire's out.
I would not get near that dog if I were you, Jim. It's suffering from rabies.
Uh-oh. Maybe we can distract it with, is this the mutton?
This meat looks like ground beef. You are not certain you like the smell.
Okay. Let's see if we can tame this dog.
The dog is now hungrily eating its meal.
Terran dog suffering from hydrophobia.
Can you cure it, Bones?
If I can cure Vulcans, I can cure dogs. I need to find some way of getting close to it.
Alright, quick McCoy. Oh, he's still eating.
Another satisfied patient.
Alright, so the immediate threat is taken care of. It looks like we have the armory here. We have the, what I presume is the schoolhouse. I'm not sure what this is.
This is an old apartment building. This building is being used as a school for the children of Gothos. This building is being used as an armory. where troops are stationed and military supplies are kept. The cobblestone streets of the village of Gothos. Dr. McCoy wonders at the many unusual situations he has been through with his captain. James T. Kirk against the skyline of rustic 20th century Europe. Mr. Spock contemplating the inordinate number of times he has traveled through time or visited parallels of Earth cultures. Mr. Ellis looks like he's spoiling for a fight.
Where's the hospital? Even when they heal, they butcher people.
Doctor, your criticisms of this era's medical technology are illogical. They did not have the tools to perform surgery without cutting open their patients. Perhaps one day, our medical practices will seem primitive compared to the standards of a future generation. More incongruities, Captain. The layout of this town is as irrational as Trelane.
Just think of it, Captain. Only one security officer for you on this mission. It must be unusual to have so little protection.
Don't try to provoke me, mister. You may regret it. Do you always say things that are unbecoming a Starfleet officer? I don't know. It seems like I'm carrying excess baggage on this mission. Don't try to provoke me, mister. You may regret it. Do you always say things that are unbecoming a Starfleet officer?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Ellis.
I wonder what surprises Trelane has in store for us.
That's a cheery thought.
Alright, well, let's go into the apartments first.
What is it, Gringold? Ah, visitors.
McCoy. Tricorder readings.
Human male in good physical condition.
Okay.
A picture of the Battle of Waterloo by a starving German artist. A one-armed gentleman sitting on a sofa.
You call that good condition, McCoy?
A sofa. The floor is quite dirty.
You know, this floor could be cleaner. Do you like living here, sir? This place looks very comfortable. You know, this floor could be cleaner. Do you like living here, sir? This place looks very comfortable. Do you like living here, sir?
It's home, and it's been home for 40 years, Colonel. Gringold likes it. And what's good for him is good for me.
A pot of gladiolas. You can tell that Herr Eckhart has a green thumb. A small box lamp. Several objects of sentimental value line the mantelpiece. Cherished possessions that have been gathered over the course of a lifetime, admired by friends and family that are now dead. A fireplace. A domesticated long hair. A large plushy chair, the sort that cats prefer. A gramophone. No songs are playing. A wooden table. A copy of Goethe's Faust in German.
Tricorder readings, Mr. Spock. Anything unusual in here?
A painting, Captain. This tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object. A lamp, Captain. A pot of gladiolas, Captain. A genus of the family...
Thank you, Mr. Spock. Is there anything about these flowers that might help us against Trelane?
Unless Trelane is allergic to them, no. A sofa, Captain. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object.
Okay, I need you to move there, Mr. Kirk.
A picture of a young woman, Mr. Eckhart's late wife, photographed when they were much younger. A small reading table.
Don't mind us, we're just, barging in your apartment, scanning everything in sight.
A photograph, Captain. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object. A table, Captain. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object. An early 20th century recording device, no longer in working order. The tricorder is not sensing any anomalies, Captain. A chair, Captain. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object. A book, Captain. A lamp, Captain. An ordinary house cat, Felis catus, a common human pet. The first records of domesticated cats are from ancient Egypt, where they reduced the rat population in the grain fields, and were also used as hunting animals to retrieve small birds.
Spock, has anyone ever told you that ignorance is bliss?
His name is Glingold, Captain Spock.
A fireplace, Captain. Nothing unusual about these objects, Captain.
They're beautiful.
Thank you, Captain McCoy. They were given to me by my wife.
Yep, we're just barging in.
A painting, Captain. This tricorder detects nothing unusual about this object.
Barging in, talking about how beautiful your objects are.
A lamp, Captain.
Okay, McCoy, I forget if I scanned the cat. I think I did, but I'm going to scan him again just to be sure.
Terran cat, feeling very self-satisfied.
I think the cat is very comfortable in its current location, Captain.
Pet the cat. Touch fluffy tail. Okay. Okay, everyone's
Nice
thoughts?
cat. It sounds like my pet tribble, Rodney. She has this nice pattern on her fur that looks just like this one.
Tribbles are genderless creatures, Commander.
It always seemed like a woman to me, Mr. Spock.
Disturbing.
I'm attempting to find a pattern in Trelane's illogic. Please do not disturb me.
Careful, Spock. The logic might fry that delicate Vulcan brain of yours.
Given the many missions we've served together, I'm quite used to being bombarded by illogic and human emotion.
Hello, kitty. Nice kitty.
I hope I'm not this lonely when I get older.
Depends on how many of your friends live to old age.
Oh, stuff it, Ellis.
What can I do for you, Colonel?
Alright,
What can you tell me about the war? I noticed that you have only one. What can you tell me about Trelane? Where can I go to earn some money? What can you tell me about the war?
We are a nation of warriors, Colonel. Like your America, we were born in war. We believe that military might gives men the right to take what they want.
What about diplomacy?
I wish we understood it better, Colonel. The pieces of paper that our diplomats sign have too little meaning. If we paid more attention, we could have prevented this latest mad conflict. I lost my grandson at the Marne. What can I do for you, Colonel?
What can you tell me about? I noticed that you have only one.
I lost my arm in the last war, January 8, 1871, during the siege of Paris during Bismarck's war with France, shortly before Germany's glorious victory. It still didn't bring my arm back.
McCoy, can you do anything for him? Well, let's finish talking to him first.
What can I do for you, Colonel?
But
what can you tell me? What can you tell me about Trelane?
That would have been one of the wars of the coalitions, I think. I'd have to brush up on my history.
Ah, yes, the glorious Baron. I'm a lowly soldier, retired and alone, except for Glingold. I don't think I can tell you anything about him. What can I do for you, Colonel?
Where can I go to earn some money?
I might be able to give you some money, Colonel, if I could think of something useful that you could do for me.
Well, let's start doing useful things. McCoy, see what you can do about his arm.
What did you do? My rheumatism is much better.
Nothing, Herr Eckhart. I'm just a simple country doctor. Human male in good physical condition.
That's what I thought he said before.
Let's see if I have any catnip.
Guess not. And even though this is a carpeted floor, let's sweep it anyways.
Thank you, Colonel. You Americans are very helpful. It's a pity we're at war with you. But wars always end, and today's enemy often becomes tomorrow's friend. Unfortunately, the reverse is often true. Here, it's not much, but money has its uses.
Thank you. Perhaps you might be able to use a broom around here.
Why, thank you, Colonel.
Alright, I think,
Terran cat?
Guess we can't do anything for the cat. I want to look at money, though.
This appears to be coinage of a variety that was used for currency during this time period.
This is money, necessary to get goods and services in the 20th century.
Okay. Well, we have money now, so we can enter the poker game, but while we're here, let's just stop by the school real quick.
And remember, democracy is weak. It relies on the votes of the foolish masses who are incapable of choosing strong leaders. Constitutional government fosters weakness. The rejection of republicanism is what won the last war for Germany, and it will bring us victory over these stupid Americans.
That's not what they told us at the academy.
Captain Hauptmann looks like he'll fit right into German society in 20 years. A chalkboard.
Future Nazi.
A light hangs from the ceiling. The exteriors of other buildings are visible through these great windows. A cupboard. It is currently shut. This clock seems permanently fixed on 5 minutes to 3. Some blocks with alphabetical letters and numbers on them. A young German boy. A young German boy. A young German girl. A young German girl. The desks of the kindergarten of Gothos. The teacher's desk. Frau Humperdinck looks like she can't wait for the day to end. This appears to be a picture of Kaiser Wilhelm II. This is a map of Western Europe. This seems pointless.
Okay, so we can't look at that. Don't mind us, we're just barging into your classroom lecture, you know, just looking at everything, scanning everything.
I am scanning the contents of the cupboard. Some chalk, some pencils, and a blackboard eraser. I detect no unusual readings from any of the objects.
About the clock.
Fascinating. The mechanism is working correctly. My tricorder detects the passage of time, and yet the exact time count remains unchanged. The actual clock is unremarkable, Captain. No anomalies or unusual power readings.
Darn it.
A wooden table constructed from oak. The tricorder does not detect anything unusual about it.
Alright.
Fluorescent illumination, Captain. A distinct anachronism. The light is encased in shatterproof glass, and the light is far more energy efficient than is typical for illumination of this period. Aside from these anomalies, there are no unusual readings.
Okay, what about the desks?
I detect nothing unusual about the desks. There are no unusual readings from the desk, Captain.
About the chair? Can we scan the chair separately?
My tricorder is not Captain, another abnormally high reading emanating from the chalkboard.
Interesting.
An ordinary oil painting, approximately 30 years old. I detect no unusual readings from it. The map does not register as unusual.
Okay, McCoy. Let's make sure all these children are healthy.
A pre-adolescent human male in good physical condition. A pre-adolescent human male in good physical condition. A pre-adolescent human female in good physical condition. A pre-adolescent human female in good physical condition. A male human in excellent physical condition. I see that the tricorder is not very good at judging character. A middle-aged human female in average physical condition.
Captain Hauptmann.
Boys and girls, let me introduce you to an example of inferior Republican stock. Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk. Tell us, Kirk, how can you defend the ludicrous American system?
I see no reason to defend anything, Captain. These children are, in spite of your efforts to indoctrinate them, quite capable of growing up to become adults who will make up their own minds. I am not interested in a debate, Hauptmann. If your system is so superior to America's, how come you're losing the war? Why don't we put it up to a vote? You have a choice between a system that gives you leaders who will oppress you for life, or a system which, imperfect though it may be, allows you to influence your leaders and gives you a chance to bring them to account. I see no reason. Why don't we put it up to a vote? You have a choice between a system that gives you leaders who will oppress you for life, or a system which, imperfect though it may be, allows you to influence your leaders and gives you a chance to bring them to account. All in favor of Hauptmann's system, say aye.
Aye!
All in favor of my system, say aye.
Aye!
It appears that they don't want what you offer them, Hauptmann.
I will not tolerate such insults. The Baron will make you all pay.
Jim, wasn't that a violation of the Prime Directive?
Dr. McCoy, this is clearly an imaginary culture with no real existence. The Prime Directive cannot be reasonably extrapolated to affect such a culture.
All right.
Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the war?
It's horrible. With any luck, my students won't have to fight in such a war when they get older. Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think about the war? You know, what can you tell me about Trelane?
Ah, the Baron. Such a charming man. If all the military and Gothos were like him, it would be a better place to live. Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think? What can you tell? These children are something, aren't they?
They are a little rambunctious, aren't they? Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What can you... These children are... I didn't realize they let mad dogs teach children.
He's a rather enthusiastic officer. Herr Kirk, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. You know, I've heard that chalkboards can be very dangerous to children. The chalk is very bad for the lungs. Maybe I should remove it.
You want to remove my chalkboard? Nein, absolutely not. I wouldn't consider it unless you gave me a letter from the superintendent telling me to do this.
Interesting, okay. No, the army is right here and they should be drugged, so let's pop in for a little bit. Alright, well, I suppose our first order of business is to look around.
Lights in glass cases. Lights in glass cases. This seems pointless. This painting of a storm at sea isn't impressionistic, just poorly painted. A supply case holding some of the commander's few possessions. The commander of this armory. He is currently unconscious. The commander's desk covered with papers. The commander's desk.
Okay, so we can't look at the phone.
A spilled mug. A soldier. He is currently unconscious. A table. A copy of the Holy Bible. This glass ball will cause a snowstorm over a tiny German village if you turn it upside down. A table. A brilliant brass telescope. This seems pointless. A painting of a Prussian cavalry officer on horseback. A plank rests against the wall. It will be used to cover a rat hole when the soldiers find time for honest work. This window looks out upon the streets of Gothos. A safe. It is currently unopened. A rack containing German rifles. A picture of a Prussian soldier, circa 1871, standing at attention. Best Huntsman, 1912. This trophy belongs to the commander. A metal wastepaper basket.
Alright, McCoy. Let's make sure they aren't going to wake up anytime soon.
Human male unconscious. Human male unconscious.
Alright. Let's start scanning around then.
No unusual readings, Captain. This is an ordinary painting. Photographs, medallions, and trophies. The tricorder does not detect anything unusual. Photographs.
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual. The tricorder. An ordinary mug, Captain. No unusual properties. An ordinary fluorescent light, Captain. However, gas-filled fluorescent lights were not developed on this planet until 1913. It is unlikely that they would have been introduced to a small German village only 4 years after their invention. No unusual readings, Captain. This is an ordinary painting. The tricorder detects nothing unusual. There is nothing unusual about that plank. The tricorder detects nothing unusual. This is a refracting telescope, Captain, with a lens 5.91 centimeters in diameter. By the astronomical standards of the era, it is already obsolete as a serious scientific instrument.
But these obsolete toys helped inspire a lot of people in the exploration of space, Mr. Spock.
Perhaps, Mr. Ellis. The tricorder does not detect any unusual properties about this object, Captain.
Okay, moving right along.
No unusual readings, Captain. Merely an ornament. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about the book. This trophy is composed of tin and iron, Captain. An ordinary object. The tricorder detects nothing unusual about it. An ordinary metal waste paper basket, Captain. The tricorder detects no unusual properties. No unusual readings, Captain. This is an ordinary painting. A German World War I Army rifle, Captain. There are no unusual readings from it.
There don't have to be.
Indeed, Doctor. By this period, firearms were extremely efficient and deadly. The tricorder scan indicates that the safe contains trinitrotoluene, commonly referred to as TNT.
I suppose it might be an asset. Can you get it?
My tricorder indicates the lock is atypical for the period. I would require the exact combination.
Okay. What can we...
Interrogating someone who's unconscious is usually not very helpful, Captain.
Search his body.
No effect.
Jim, I hope you're not expecting me to carry that. Earn you.
I just want to look around for the code. In any case, let's grab the rifles and the plank.
You have taken one of their rifles. This looks like an early World War I rifle, ready for action.
We have access to more efficient weapons, Captain. We have access to...
Oh my god, shut up, Ellis.
These people don't seem to like visitors.
And I thought these people were supposed to be friendly to tourists.
Fascinating. More illogic. Why would a German colonel be stationed in a small town like Gothos?
Maybe he likes the climate. I don't like the looks of this place, Jim.
That was some smart work, Dr. McCoy, to drug their beer.
Thank you, Commander.
It's nice to see someone on the Enterprise is clever enough to avoid risking people's lives.
Oh my god, shove it, Ellis. Can we actually
We're
scan
supposed to use this on people.
Okay, so we can't scan the drug here.
We have records of that book aboard the Enterprise. We have records of that book aboard the Enterprise.
I used to have one of these toys when I was a child. It had an rose.
Captain, let's not go around carting anything heavy unless it's absolutely necessary. If we see a need for a telescope, we can come back here.
Ellis.
We need to learn the combination, Captain.
Yes, we do.
The man is unconscious, Captain.
Yes, he is. Can we... Surely the combination.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual.
Alright. We'll come back here. For now, I think we have enough to, we can go back to the tavern at least. So Gretel's a spy, maybe she knows the combination. We can get a letter from the superintendent, and then we have money to play the poker game.
Excuse me, Gretel, could you answer a question or two for me?
I will try, Colonel.
Gretel, I need to persuade Herr Schiller to give me the school's chalkboard. It is vitally important to the war.
Herr Kirk, as you know my secret, I have no choice but to help you. Herr Schiller cares about the health of his pupils more than anything. If you could convince him that the chalkboard is dangerous...
I had a thought about that. How can I convince him?
Herr Sundergaard, the publisher, is the most respected man in Garthos, next to the Baron, of course. If you could persuade him to start a rumor that these chalkboards were unhealthy, I believe that Herr Schiller would believe it and give you a letter allowing you to confiscate it.
Oh wow, so it's not even that easy. So, here's
Rudolph.
I think the publisher was in this room.
And what is the Bluffmeister up to this time?
He doesn't bluff. He just complains about everything.
I do not. If I did, I would have hit the ceiling with my last hand.
You dealt. You deal with it.
There's no hand worse than the one you deal yourself.
Okay,
Kurt Nielsen.
Brewer.
Werner
Shoemaker.
Richard Sundergaard.
Publisher. Okay.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
What can you tell me about Can you help me get into this? I need you to spread a rumor about a chalk. I need you to spread a rumor about a chalkboard.
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten blackboard? Do not know why, but I would do anything if you could get the commander to issue a transfer for my son.
Okay. It's gonna be one of those things. Favors for favors. Actually, before I go back, you need the combination to that safe.
Excuse me, Gretel.
Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, so they're still knocked out.
A picture of oppression. This painting. A painting of a supply. The commander.
Actually, can we use,
I do not see anything useful in the case, Captain. We need to learn the combination, Captain.
Yes, we do. Spock, can you use your...
We need to learn the combination, Captain. No unusual readings, Captain. This is an ordinary painting. Captain, we need to persuade the commander to sign them. Captain, we need to persuade the commander to sign them.
Human male unconscious.
I hope I don't regret this.
I don't think I should until he's suitably restrained.
Ah! Rope! Okay, now, McCoy.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, so do I.
You'll never get me to talk.
I would prefer that you didn't. You're nothing but a figment of Trelane's childish imagination. You're even less important than he is. Where's Trelane? Where's my crew? I would prefer that you didn't. You're nothing but a figment of Trelane's childish imagination. Where's Trelane? Where's my crew?
I will tell you nothing. You presume to threaten me, Colonel?
I want you to sign transfer papers for Sundergaard's son. Send him away from the front.
How typical of the press. Not too willing to sacrifice for the good of the nation. Untie me, and I shall sign papers to take this little coward away from his duty.
They will grab those now.
You have taken the signed transfer papers. A mug, half full of drugged beer. Or is it half empty?
You'll never get me to talk.
I would prefer that you didn't. You're nothing but a thick... Where's Trelane?
I will tell you nothing.
I could mind meld with him to get the combination of the safe.
Do it, Spock.
There we go.
Trelane. Trelane. Trelane.
Spock, snap out of it.
He's not paying attention to me. Run away.
The combination, Spock. Concentrate on the combination.
Kirk. I must have revenge on Kirk. Every great man has his enemy. Nothing could be more fun than revenge. The sensation to end all sensations.
Spock!
I am back, Captain. I was able to mind meld with Trelane to an extent through his replications. These men are the crew of the Shinobi, the original freighter that Trelane captured. Their thoughts have been altered by Trelane.
Where is the Enterprise, Spock?
Or the Zimbabwe?
I received the impression that Trelane is holding them prisoner. I also got the combination for the safe. Right 43, left 18, right 29, pull.
Interesting. So it sounds like all these people are like basically the crew members of the ships he's captured but repurposed for this simulation.
Captain, allow me to do that. I was the one who discovered the combination. I am the logical choice.
Fine, Mr. Spock.
The safe is full of dynamite.
I guess we'll just pick up some of that dynamite. Okay, we're done here. You can enjoy your beer, I guess. Alright. Now we can use the signed transfer papers on him, get him to start the rumor, then we can get the blackboard.
I told you I wasn't bluffing. We three kings will take the stake.
I didn't know your good luck was only temporary. I'd be quite annoyed.
I have so few vices in my life. I must do the best I can with what I have.
Whose deal is it?
Okay, so now...
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. I cannot express my gratitude. If there is anything I can do for you, please let me know.
Okay.
Welcome, friends. Can I help you?
What can you help me get into this? I need you to spread a rumor about...
You say you need me to convince Herr Schiller to give you the kindergarten.
We
Welcome,
did.
friends.
What can you help me?
I would lend you a stake to enter this game, but it appears...
Well, did he start the rumor, maybe?
Herr Kirk,
Though my position as school superintendent keeps me busy, I'm always glad to help you.
You look worried. It wouldn't happen to be about the chalkboard by any chance.
I have heard the most horrifying rumors about these boards. Do you think they are true?
Absolutely. If you wish, I could dispose of the thing for you before anyone is harmed. I'd need a letter for Frau Humperdinck.
Absolutely. Let me just take pen to paper. Take it when you want to destroy the vile thing.
Alright, so it did work out. Maybe I just didn't read it
You pick up
properly
the
or
piece
something.
of paper.
But he started the roar, so now we can walk out.
Herr Kirk,
Yes, I'd like to ask a question. What do you think? You know,
you want to remove...
Okay, so we just have to give her the letter then.
Well, if the superintendent says you must take it, you must.
Alright, so we have our first object of power, as it were. Alright, Mr. Spock, scan it.
Captain, the chalkboard's power readings are beyond the ability of the tricorder to measure.
Alright, then we know the second one is the clock. So let's go win the poker game. There it is.
Welcome to the game, Colonel.
3 hours later.
My God! Where did you learn to play poker, Colonel?
Starfleet Academy.
We have enough money to purchase the clock, Captain. I suggest we do so without delay.
Alright. Let's go over and purchase that clock. I wonder if they would actually give you the option to steal it. But it just like hurts your rating at the end of the game or something. Alright.
That's just enough to buy this neat clock.
Excellent. Now with that out of the way, can we scan the cupboard?
No unusual power readings for the table.
Okay. Let's scan the
The
clock.
clock's power readings are beyond the ability of the tricorder to measure.
Alright, so I think we're mostly done here. This is stop smoking, so let's scan it again. I don't think we'll re-enter it, but...
No abnormal tricorder readings.
I still probably won't enter it. Let's go explore this other alleyway since we haven't done that yet.
There it is. The triplane that shot down the Enterprise.
Why don't you start it up and fly off in a blaze of glory? After all, you are James T. Kirk, the toast of Starfleet. The man who never loses.
Mr. Ellis.
What's the matter, Kirk? The truth hurts? You never let that get in the way of your ego before.
I'm putting you on report for insubordination. We're all upset, Mr. Ellis, but these insults won't solve the thing. That's it. I've taken all I can stand from you. I'm putting you on report for insubordination. We're all upset, Mr. Ellis, but these insults won't solve the thing.
I don't believe in mincing my words, Captain. If you can't accept my honest opinion, too bad.
Fine, but do yourself a favor and stay out of my way. That's it. I've taken all I can stand from you. Fine, but do yourself a favor and stay out of my way. That's it. I've taken all I can stand from you. Fine, but do yourself a favor and stay out of my way.
Kirk, I'm going to be in your face so much that you're never going to forget what I look like.
Commander, I know a treatment that has a good success rate at reducing excess aggressiveness. It's called reason.
Alright, so we have the triplane.
A Fokker DR-1. The hangar of Trelane's triplane. It appears to be abandoned.
Doesn't really look like there's enough room for it to take
Several
off.
fuel barrels have been placed at the side of the hangar. A fuel barrel lies abandoned on the ground. This seems pointless. Grass. Bushes. This seems pointless. Castle Trelane. What else could it be?
Okay, so let's start taking sensor readings.
Another abnormally high reading emanating from the plane. It is in every way a Fokker DR-1, except for that power source. The tricorder indicates the hangar is completely deserted. The tricorder indicates the hangar
No, I want the fuel, Mr. Spock.
The tricorder.
There we go.
The barrels are empty. The tricorder indicates that the canister is empty.
Grass.
Can we,
No effect.
Nope, okay.
I hope we have shore leave after this mission, Jim.
We should scan as much of the area as possible.
The Enterprise is not far. I can sense it.
That is not logical, Captain.
I know, Mr. Spock, but I'd bet everything that I have it's nearby.
So that's where this Trelane is holding my ship. I'll wring his neck if he doesn't give it back.
Well, we don't know where the ship's being held yet. Let's walk back. I'm not ready. I don't think we're quite ready to go to the castle yet. Looks like we can go this way. So let's do that.
I can't believe the trench would be so close to the town.
It shouldn't be. At this point in the war, the Allies had broken through the trenches. That's why Germany surrendered. Their defenses were crumbling, and they didn't want to see their cities destroyed.
Only one of many illogical situations, Commander. The building where we were imprisoned almost burned to the ground, but no other building was touched, and no one seemed concerned about the fire.
What else?
The fact that everyone seems to recognize us, yet the military does not try to intercept us. The building signs in English instead of German. There is much here that is not what it seems.
McCoy, scan that soldier.
Young human male, life signs failing. Suffering from internal bleeding and shock. Now that's an odd reading. It's not biological. Maybe Spock should try using his tricorder.
I think we got artillery there.
Captain, another abnormally high reading emanating from an object in his pocket. A locket of some sort.
That's odd. I should be able to see immediate improvement in his injuries. But I have no response.
That is because Trelane is interfering. This man is meant to be a dying soldier, whose presence provides drama for Trelane's production.
He'll die.
Logic suggests that Trelane will not allow him to die, except for dramatic effect. Given the inconsistencies I've noticed, it is probable that he may be kept alive indefinitely.
Can you give him something for the pain, Doctor?
Nothing I've done has any effect on him, Commander.
Nothing to report in the west.
What can you tell me about the war?
I am a sentry. The others are dead. I think I'm dying. Nothing to report in the west.
What can you tell me about the war? What can you tell me about Trelane?
I like to watch the airplanes fly overhead. The enemy watches them too, and I know we'll have a few minutes of peace. Nothing to report in the west.
What can you... about your locket. About your locket.
You want my locket? But that's the only reminder of my girl. I'd rather lose my arm.
We need it very badly. If we do something for you, would you give it to us?
I have a letter to my girl. If you see that it is delivered, I'll give you my locket.
My dearest Hilda, you are the sun that lights my shadows. Your voice is the one that speaks to me when all other voices are filled with pain. Only your memory keeps this unbearable suffering from driving me mad. That and the hope that this war will soon end, one way or another, and that I may yet live to see your smile.
Well, maybe Greta will know, because I don't think we've met Hilda, unless that's her real name. I don't know. But Gretel's the only woman of age for that man, so let's go talk to her.
Excuse me, Gretel. Can you deliver a letter for me?
Give me the letter, and I will see that it is delivered. Thank you, Captain. I will see that it is delivered.
Oh, okay. I guess you're just gonna clean up. Okay, well, we kind of delivered it. Do we get points for partial credit? Points for trying?
Nothing to report in the west.
What can you about that locket?
You've delivered my letter? I guess I'll keep my promise. Have my locket.
The locket's power readings are beyond the ability of the tricorder to measure.
Sandbags, barbed wire, used to confine soldiers to their moats of mud. Is this German or Allied territory? And no birds sang. Is this German or Allied territory?
These almost look vaguely like artillery pieces there, which would be kind of...
Army engineers have begun building a tunnel here. The tunnel has barely been started.
Which would be kind of surprising that they'd be in front of the line instead of behind it, but...
Rubble. An artillery shell has collapsed part of the trench. Another trench, and no birds sang.
Mr. Spock, tricorder readings.
My tricorder detects nothing unusual about the rubble. The tunnel only extends about 3 meters beneath the surface. The tricorder detects My tricorder detects nothing unusual about this battlefield. My tricorder...
Okay, so there's really nothing more for us here, I guess. I don't know, we might be able to use the TNT to blast through, but...
No abnormal tricorder readings.
I guess we'll go back to the triplane.
I hope we have shore leave after this mission, Jim.
Okay, let's scan the triplane.
Captain, the power readings from the triplane are still beyond the range of the tricorder to effectively measure. I'm picking up immense power readings from that castle in the distance. There is a high probability that it's Trelane's base.
Well, of course it's Trelane's base. Where do you expect Trelane to live? A slum?
Doctor, your display of emotion is quite unnecessary.
We're supposed to use this on people.
We could use the dynamite on the triplane, try to blow it up. Nah, not yet. Can we just use Kirk? Can we take off?
The odds of Trelane leaving his triplane in the open without setting a trap are almost too small to calculate.
Okay. Well, let's walk on down.
The door to Castle Trelane is blocked by a force field. Castle Trelane. Castle Trelane. The grass looked greener on the other side of the hill. A large immovable rock. Castle Trelane.
Like there's some cracks in it.
Great fir trees reach into the sky. Dr. McCoy, an enterprising chief medical officer. James Kirk, an enterprising captain. Mr. Spock, an enterprising first officer. Lieutenant Commander Ellis, who's rather glad he hasn't served on the Enterprise.
Not liking this battle music.
An impressive edifice.
I would have thought someone with Trelane's ego would have jumped to make a grand entrance from the castle.
Obviously, he's waiting for a moment of maximum theatrical effect. Or maybe you're just a coward, Trelane.
It is interesting that he does not choose to appear at this time.
And quite annoying, although perhaps I should count my blessings.
Well, here we are. I wonder what kind of death this person has in store for us.
Here we are at Trelane's doorstep. What's the matter, Trelane? Is the great Baron of Gothos afraid to come out and play?
Alright, well, let's take sensor readings.
Captain, the force field around the castle is extremely intense. I get the same energy signature from it as I did from the triplane that attacked the Enterprise.
Mr. Spock, is there any way to penetrate it?
The force field permeates the ground, Captain. The largest weapons of this era could not penetrate the force field. If we could generate a disruption on the wavelength, the field could be breached, although we would not have much time before it was reestablished.
How could we generate such a disruption?
By physically destroying other objects that resonate on that wavelength. Objects like the power objects that we have already found.
Interesting.
We're supposed to use this on people. We're supposed to use this on people. We're supposed to use this on people. We're supposed to use this on people.
Are you saying there's no life signs
on people?
McCoy? Okay. Well, in any case, we'll just throw this locket here.
You put the locket in the triplane. You put the chalkboard in the triplane. You put the clock in the triplane.
Here we go.
Affirmative, Captain.
Take cover!
Everyone stay well back.
I don't think that counts as staying well back, but...
I suppose I should be angry at you, Captain, with your act of vandalism against my beautiful aircraft. But then, barbarians will be barbarians.
There's only one barbarian in the room, Trelane, and I'm looking at him right now. Release my ship, Trelane. And don't you ever grow up, Trelane? You may have powers of a god, but that doesn't even come close to making you a man. There's only one barbarian in the room, Trelane, and I'm looking at him right now. Release my ship, Trelane.
My ship? My ship? It's always your ship, your crew. Don't you have anything else to think about? Conquests of your enemies and the fair sex.
Restore the ships you've stolen and return them unharmed.
You're in no position to make demands. I am the Baron of Gothos, the most renowned aristocrat in this part of Germany.
This farcical, wildly inaccurate fantasy of yours.
And you are my prisoner, a mere Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Kirk.
and I will do with you whatever I want.
Save new game. This seems pointless. This bottle contains a very realistic reduction of the SS Shinobi, a freighter. This bottle contains a very realistic reduction of the SS Manikier, a Denebian transport. This bottle contains a very realistic reduction of the USS Zimbabwe.
My ship! Bring it back or I'll...
This one's even more savage than the last one of your officers who made the same mistake. My compliments, Captain, on having such a spirited crew. Truly a testament to your fine leadership.
Release him, Trelane. He's done you no harm. Take me in his place. He's not a member of my crew and you know it. Besides, he looks rather peaceful standing there. Release him, Trelane. He's done you no harm. Take me in his place.
Ah, the gallant captain, intervening on behalf of one who despises him. Don't worry about him, Captain. Worry about yourself.
I suppose I should thank you, Captain.
Later, Commander.
An ugly gargoyle-like decoration.
A trifle grotesque for the setting, isn't it, Trelane?
Why, Kirk, I wasn't aware of your interest in the design of castles. I hope you like my rug better.
An ugly gargoyle-like decoration.
A trifle grotesque for this.
Okay, so that's just going to loop dialogue.
An axe and shield. As with most of Trelane's collection, they are mostly ornamental.
So I think we can assume that the fourth ship is the Enterprise.
These candles illuminate Trelane's self-portrait. If the real thing weren't bad enough, a portrait of the humble Baron of Gothos smirks nauseatingly at you.
Let's just take all the readings we can
An
get.
axe and shield. As with most of Trelane's collection, they are mostly ornamental. A charming brick fireplace. An ornate table. A polar bear rug. Trelane, the Baron of Gothos, smirks triumphantly as the little drama unfolds. A door, but to where?
That's a good question.
Nothing unusual.
Nothing unusual.
Captain, the painting is another power object.
Interesting.
The tricorder detects nothing unusual. Purely decorative, Captain. The shield is too thin to withstand actual combat, and given the inefficient design of the polearm, the axe head would likely fly off the handle the first time it was used.
No comments, Trelane?
No unusual readings. No
Really, we're not going to comment about a polar bear rug?
Purely decorative, Captain.
Okay, same, yeah, going on there.
Nothing. The tricorder confirms that the ship has been shrunk. I know of no scientific way this could have occurred, and no way to reverse it.
We'll have to convince our host to do it, Mr. Spock.
You're going to say that about all of them?
The tricorder confirms...
McCoy, life sign readings.
If you attempt to steal from my collection, let's see. Oh, I believe the removal of hands was one of your more time-honored punishments.
You know all about punishments, don't you, Trelane?
I would guard your tongue, Captain. I believe the removal of an offensive tongue was an even older tradition than removing hands.
Well, we don't want to steal it. I just want
If you attempt to steal,
I just wanted to scan it, but...
If you attempt,
Alright. Nope, we don't want to use...
We're supposed to use it.
Let's make sure he's fine.
Lieutenant Commander Ellis is showing signs of extreme stress. Human being, in average physical condition. James T. Kirk, in good health. Mr. Spock, the typical Vulcan human hybrid, in excellent health. Nothing. It's as if he weren't there.
Maybe he's not.
My tricorder does not register him, Captain. It is as though he were not there.
Alright.
This bottle contains a very realistic reduction of the USS Enterprise.
Jim, is that what I think it is?
It is the Enterprise, Doctor. It is functioning normally, aside from being trapped. The crew are alive and well.
My latest hobby, gentlemen, putting warships in bottles, celebrating the grand martial heritage of your species.
Well, let's see if we can communicate with them.
Captain, thank goodness you're all right. We've been stuck in a place on minimal life support, and every time we fix our communication systems, it goes offline again. Shall we try to beam you back?
That might be problematic, Mr. Scott.
Be careful, Captain. We've scanned 2 life forms that are right off the power scale.
2 life forms, Scotty. Scotty, come in.
How like an engineer your Mr. Scott is. Always fixated on the unimportant. Well, Captain, I suppose you're about to make your grand plan of escape?
You must think you're pretty clever, Trelane, with your replica of the First World War. Why should I have to make a grand plan to escape from a loser like you? I don't have to do anything. Eventually, your parents are going to find you and discipline you again. You must think you're pretty clever, Trelane, with your replica of the First World War.
Why, thank you, Captain.
I wasn't complimenting you, Trelane. I've never seen such a piece of nonsense in my life. Although you could have made that trench scene much more realistic. If World War I had been the way you depicted, human history would have been a lot less bloody. I wasn't complimenting you, Trelane. I've never seen such a piece of nonsense in my life. Although you could have made that trench scene much more realistic.
Really, Captain?
Look into the memory banks of the Enterprise, Trelane. Recreate what's in there, and let me show you firsthand the glory of one of the bloodiest conflicts in human history. Not a liar, just misinformed. Use the memory banks of the Enterprise, Trelane. Recreate what's in there. War at its most realistic and terrifying.
Hopefully this gets Trelane disabused of his glory of war.
A German soldier. He had lost his 3 brothers at Verdun and had considered mutinying, but feared disgrace more than the loss of his own life. Rain has been falling for hours, ever since the battle ended. Otherwise, all is quiet on the Western Front. A German soldier. Though you couldn't tell it from the color of his uniform, mud has a way of making them all look the same. A dead French soldier. In his hands, he cradles a letter from his fiancée. The sides of a trench, moats filled with soldiers in which they besieged each other for 4 bloody years. Rain has been falling for hours.
Okay, so that's just a general
A
description.
dead French soldier. Dr. McCoy would tell you that he was already half dead from disease before the battle began. Rain has been falling.
Okay.
Trelane, the Baron of Gothos, seems delighted by what he is seeing.
That's not good.
Rain has been.
I don't think there's much else we can look at here. There's certainly nothing we can use, so let's talk to Gothos.
Captain Kirk, I hope you had a good reason for dragging me out in the mud in the middle of the rain.
Look around you, Trelane. Is this glory? Is this valor? Smell the stench of death. While knights fought in the sky, millions died in the mud, diseased, starving, mutilated. Is this the sort of game you want to play, Trelane? For once in your life, Trelane, shut up and look around you. Look around, Trelane. Take in the ambience, the romance of this place. Look at the proud soldiers celebrating the glories of war. Look around you, Trelane. Is this glory? Is this valor? Smell the stench of death. While knights fought in the sky, millions died in the mud, diseased, starving, mutilated. Is this the sort of game you want to play, Trelane?
But these people lost, Kirk. Shame and suffering is supposed to befall the losers in war.
These were the winners, Trelane. You're inhuman, Trelane. You play games with people and ignore their suffering, just like the people who sent these men to die. You should have been a politician. If you have any real courage, Trelane, if you want to experience real warfare, put yourself in their place. No powers, no titles. Experience the glory of war firsthand, like these men did. These were the winners, Trelane. If you have any real courage, Trelane, if you want to experience real warfare, put yourself in their place. No powers, no titles. Experience the glory of war firsthand, like these men did.
But aren't you inferiors supposed to die like that? Aren't you supposed to throw your lives away in futile wars? Or die as meaningless non-entities? Dying a useless death without glory?
No one is useless, Trelane, and no one wants to throw away their life in a futile war. We've changed, Trelane. We've grown up. It's time you did too.
You're no fun anymore, Kirk. No fun at all. You're preachy just like them. Anything I'm interested in is always wrong.
Release my ship. Trelane, look around you. Does this look right to you? Trelane, you don't go around hurting people and expect them to treat it as though they're having fun. The first thing a life form learns is to avoid pain. Release my Trelane, look around you. Does this look right to you?
But I didn't cause this, Kirk. It was your own species' suicidal tendencies that did this.
Trelane, if I admit that I cheated on our last encounter, can I have my ship back? Trelane, you're not experiencing the pain that people felt. You're supposed to sympathize with them. I'll tell you what, Trelane. You can keep the Enterprise. All I want is your triplane. Trelane, I'll tell you what, Trelane. You can keep the Enterprise. All I want is your triplane.
You want my plane? You can't have that. It's mine.
But it's a lot nicer than the Enterprise. What would you rather have, a nice red triplane or a clunky-looking starship? Which one is better, Trelane?
Why, my triplane, of course.
And why don't you make lots of triplanes and let those dusty, dirty old starships go free? Just think of all the fun you can have putting them in bottles.
Why, Captain, you've given me a hobby. I can hardly wait to start.
You'd better set those starships free, Trelane. You're going to need a lot of room on your mantelpiece for your new ships.
That is true, Captain.
Captain's log. Missing starships have been restored to normal size and are about to return to their assigned missions. It was horrible, Mr. Spock. Trelane recreated one of the greatest tragedies in human history. I've seen a lot, but even that...
The waste of lives is appalling, even when one operates by pure logic. When one considers what those millions of lives that were lost might have done for humanity had the war never taken place.
Well, now that we've taken care of business... Ow! I'll have to see Dr. McCoy about my shoulder.
Something happened, Captain?
Mr. Ellis and I
see. Are your differences settled?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Spock. We each won a game of zero-G squash, but I'm afraid he was called back to the Zimbabwe before we could have a rubber match. I think I dislocated my shoulder with a rather wild swing in the second game.
Then logic suggests that your injury would have caused you to lose the match.
I suppose so. He's a good player and a good officer. I'm putting in a request to bring him on the Enterprise.
That should be fascinating.
Hello, Captain. I'm Captain Gernsbeck of the Shinobi. I thought I would thank you personally before we left for Cephas Bi.
A pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Have we met before, Captain? There's something familiar.
Perhaps we did, on some other planet, in some other star system, sometime long ago.
Message from Starfleet Command.
On screen.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.
Alright, so that mission's done. We can review our log and see, we got the 4 commendation points, so that was, excuse me, an interesting take on that. So we couldn't disabuse Trelane of his notions of war. We couldn't make him sympathize with the suffering of all those people. I mean, come on, even in this game, their limbs were, blown off, which is, kind of unusual for Star Trek to be so gruesome. Excuse me. Unusual for Star Trek to be so gruesome, even in this, game format, pixelated format, kind of thing. But, he still couldn't, this is just the way it is, and I like it this way. And of course we can't convince him to lower himself and put him in their shoes. So that's interesting that we took the route of giving him a hobby of putting planes in bottles. Hopefully that keeps him out of trouble for a while, but But really, you never know. It's funny how the ultimate solution was to treat him as a child. In any case, I want to see if there's some entries we can look up. Cephas. Oops. Looks like we can't look up any of their missions.
Ralph Garvin, deceased Starfleet officer, once served as a security officer and lieutenant on the USS Enterprise. Killed by a cumulohemivus, blood-draining cloud, while on mission to Argus 10.
And that was actually from an episode of Star Trek. Seeing if we can look up anything else from the mission.
Walter Ellis, Starfleet rank Lieutenant Commander. Current assignment, Security Chief and First Officer of the USS Zimbabwe. Decorated 3 times by Starfleet for bravery under fire, and awarded the Starfleet Award of Valor for his actions during the Kelver Uprising on Rigel 7.
And of course, it's not going to actually tell us anything about the Kelvar Uprising. I don't think there's really much else we can look at. So, man, that was a long mission. It's been almost, what, 2 or 3 hours, something like that? In any case, we made it through. Everyone's alive. Everyone's happy. So, I think we're going to call this to a close then. So, with that, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next time. See you then.